Good morning, garden friends, and welcome back to the Cottage. My name is Kristen. If you're new, if you're not, then thank you so much for joining back in today because we are gonna do a full July garden tour today. I want to give you a big update of what has changed in the garden, and I want to share some fails and wins with you. So let's get right in. So since we're already at this end of the garden, I reckon we can start here. And I first want to show you my beautiful rose arch. This is definitely a win this season. Look how gorgeous these roses are looking. So beautiful. They're just popping off. They have a bunch more blooms to open. Oh my gosh, I am in love with these roses. This is the variety Camelot. This is Waltz Time. And then this is Kiss Me Kate, and it just started blooming. I think this is the first bloom opening this season. This is always a little later. And honestly, I didn't think these roses were gonna make it because we had such a harsh winter. It was -20, -25 for a really long time last winter. And a lot of the branches that had climbed up already, up until here, actually died, and I had to cut them off almost to the ground. I did fertilize them this spring with chicken manure, and they came back with a vengeance, which I definitely consider a win. They look so beautiful, and I hope they will grow even taller this season. Then my sunflowers also luckily made it. I did not do anything with these. I just started some seedlings in my greenhouse, and then I put them here. I didn't even really water them in when I planted them, and they are finally taking off. Then our gingerbread tree is also doing pretty good. I think this one is doing a little better than the one I have over there, but nevertheless, they're both doing good. So I guess we're starting with some wins. We have our citrus trees currently here in our pergola. I have fertilized them a couple of times now, and they love the outdoor weather at the moment, but we will have to take them in. This one is a calamondin tree, or calamansi, however you want to call it. I scored this in February from the garden center on a big discount, and then this one I bought at Lidl. This is a lime quad, and you can see it's producing some new leaves finally. This looked really horrible when I got it. There is one lime on it, so I'm happy to see that its health is improving. We have some small containers here on our table with some rosemary, eucalyptus that I started from seed, which I'm so happy it's doing well, and lavender. And then let's go into the veggie garden because there is a ton of things. Oh, and before we go into the veggie garden, I just want to show you that I planted 2 more trees, which these are apple trees I started from seed. They are supposed to be a Granny Smith apple type. I just planted them like 1 or 2 weeks ago. This one right here, and then this one over there, and they're just starting to take off, which is really nice to see. And then the rhubarb is now over, but I've been able to harvest so much from this rhubarb. Into the veggie garden we go. Let me start this tour of our veggie garden with saying the pests have been out of control this season. We have had so many hits with pests this season. We had problems with moles, we had problems with voles, a lot of slugs. They have been like ravaging my potato leaves basically. Ants are everywhere, they're building houses in all of my beds. It's just a mess, but it is how a garden works. This ecosystem is slowly building itself, and the pests are just part of it. We were able to trap a mole the other day, so we were able to take care of that problem. But the vole, I think, is actually still in my potato bed. And the other day when I pulled up a plant to give my friend some potatoes when she visited me, I did see one potato was munched. So, oh, you can see the hole right here. This hole right here is from the vole. We do have these like solar stakes that send out a frequency, but they don't really seem to be bothered by it, so I wouldn't say they necessarily work. So we're probably gonna have to trap that one too if we really want to get rid of it. I'll see after the potato harvest, I think, because I'm not gonna put anything in there right now. But yeah, this is my potato bed, or my main potato bed, I should say. I have some more potatoes over there. And these looked absolutely beautiful just about a month ago. I didn't do a June garden tour, which was definitely my fault. because they're like beautiful in June. But these potatoes are slowly starting to die back, and that is just part of their natural cycle, which means they are gonna be ready for us to harvest very soon. And in this bed we only have one variety, if I remember correct. I think it should be all the Solis variety. Let me see, there's a tag actually. Yeah, so this is the Solis variety, and I planted these on April 21st. Then we have a bunch of chamomile that always self-seeds themselves. I had beans in here, but they didn't make it. The potatoes outgrew them, so I just relocated them. But these beans in my carrot and onion bed definitely made it. You can see they made it to the other side actually. I keep helping them like trellis, and these should be blooming very soon. This is a purple or blue green bean variety. You can also dry the seeds, but we're gonna eat them as green beans. They have been growing pretty well, and I love how they grow on this arch. I think once I harvest the potatoes out from here in just 2 to 3 weeks, I will put some more beans into the ground, because I do have some pole bean seedlings growing in my greenhouse right now. So we're gonna harvest these potatoes soon, and then I will put the green beans in here, and they can just grow together with those other ones. Talking of this carrot and onion bed, I don't know if it comes across like that on camera, but the carrots are absolutely insane. Look how tall they are. They outgrew my onions again. Next year I will be definitely growing my onions like in the front, and then put the potatoes probably put the carrots probably only in the back, so they will still grow in one bed, because they are good companion plants. Since the carrot root fly don't really mind they don't really like the scent of onions, so I will be putting them together again, but I will not like interplant them. I will do 1/2 onions and 1/2 carrots, and I'm probably gonna do 2 beds of that next year. There's actually, I think this onion is ready to harvest. Let me see. Yeah, the neck is bent. Let me see. Whoa. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Not the largest onion, but it's still a good size, I would say. These onions that I have in here, I have, I think, 3 varieties in here. In the front is the Kelsey, which are usually like a really big variety. Then in the middle, I think I have Red Baron, and then I have Granada, I believe, or Red Magic. I don't remember anymore. I would have to see the tags, but they're swallowed by the carrots. I consider this a semi-win, because the carrots are doing fantastic, and I've harvested some of them when I thinned them out. Usually I don't harvest my carrots until September, October, but they are already looking really, really good. The reason I consider this a semi-win is because my onions are not very, very big, not as big as they could have been, because they got shaded out by my carrots, and that was my mistake. So next year we're definitely gonna do different. I think there's actually another onion to harvest, because also here the neck is bent. Oh, it's also a nice one. Not bad, the size, not bad. You can leave onions in after the neck has been bent for about 1 to 2 weeks, and they will dry out if there is dry weather. But because we are getting showers of rain every now and then, I would rather harvest them right now and then dry them on my drying station together with my garlic, just because I don't want them to rot in the ground, essentially, because that would be a total loss. But I do love how fluffy these carrots are. So pretty. Then in this bed that we have right next to my carrots and onions, we have purple sprouting broccoli, and we have more potatoes over here. This is kind of my hodgepodge bed, as I like to call it, because there's so many different things growing together. I didn't really have a plan when I planted out this bed. I just really planted everything together as I had the space. But yeah, let me show you those potatoes, because they're not looking too great. You can see probably on camera that they have been ravaged by slugs. I do organic gardening, so I'm not gonna use any chemicals to get rid of slugs. Slugs are a good sign in your garden because they show you that your food is edible, but they can do damage to your plants. And so what I like to do is I like to come out in the evenings after the sun has like set or it is setting. That is when the slugs are active. Also in the morning when the sun is rising. And I do a thing called slug patrol. And so I just pick them off the plants basically. And I have found that to be very effective, but you do have to come in kind of frequently because you can miss the slugs since it's sometimes not so light outside and you might not see them. They are camouflaged very well. My slug patrol has been very effective so far. I've did the same thing in my greenhouse in the spring. But I think with these potatoes, I have to come out tonight again and do another slug patrol because this here is new damage. I think it wasn't there yesterday. But anyway, these potatoes are dying back slowly, so they're gonna be ready to harvest soon. This, I think, here is the Jazzy variety, which were potatoes I got from the grocery store. These were organic potatoes I got from the grocery store. So they weren't actually seed potatoes, but I still planted them. I was willing to risk it. Then here is the Solis variety, which is the same we have in the front. And then I just interplanted here with the Anu that were also grocery store potatoes. They are more like fingerling or baby potatoes. And then I have a bunch of dill that basically self-seeded itself last year. But I'm gonna use those flowers for pickling and also leave it for the bees because they do love those flowers. Then coming from this side, from our hodgepodge bed, I have another hodgepodge bed that was originally my garlic bed. We have some lettuce here. This is kind of like slow bolting because it's also growing in like semi-shade. All the rest of the plants are shading it out just a little bit during the day. And this is a loose leaf lettuce called American Brown. I will probably come out tomorrow and harvest some of this for our dinner. Then I had my soft night garlic here, which I will show you later at my drying station. But soft night garlic is not really made for very low temperatures. And like I said, we had a very, very harsh winter. And so it did horribly. It's itty bitty teeny tiny, but I still have my hard night garlic. Luckily that is actually still going. I'm probably gonna harvest that next week. But yeah, since I took out my soft night garlic, I was able to plant carrots here that I just sowed I think a month ago now, and I also put in some potatoes, more of this Anuk variety, just because they have had already long sprouts on them and I didn't want them to go to waste. I wanted to give them a chance to grow. And once I harvest my hard night garlic, I am gonna plant out another round of potatoes. Usually carrots and potatoes don't grow well together, but I'm just trying to use all the space I have and we're gonna see how it goes. Then I have some single onions here, and this is my hard night garlic. This is the variety Lubasha. It's a pink variety. And some of the stems are really thick and pretty. I really hope that this is gonna do well. I did a test poll of a couple of weeks ago and it was like a medium-sized garlic. Not too bad, not as bad as the soft night garlic. But then I did another poll, I think last week, and I gave it to my friend Paula. And that was a big head of garlic, so I hope that we're in for a treat with this one. Then, next to my garlic, I have more carrots that we did sow out together. One row is Malbec and one row is Bolero carrots. And I'm really excited for these Malbec carrots because they are supposed to be red. Let me see if we can actually pull one. They're probably not gonna be ready yet, but we can try to see if we can get one still. Oh, well, this is definitely not a Malbec variety. This looks like a rainbow carrot. It's a white carrot. Wait, did I scatter rainbow seeds here? Did I? I don't remember. No, I'm so sure I had the Malbec variety here. Let's see. Maybe if we take one from here. Oh yeah. This is red. Not ready, but it's red. They still need probably another month or two, but they have a beautiful red color. So pretty. And then for my hard night garlic, I just want to say I'm looking for 3 to 4 dried leaves, I think. This one might actually be ready. Some of the leaves have fallen off already. Maybe we should just harvest it. Oh, oh, nice. Wow, okay, not bad at all. That is a good size. Okay, so I think the rest of these are hopefully gonna be okay. Let me just quickly rinse this. Just get the main dirt off. Then we can put it to our drying station later. Wow, okay. That is so pretty and quite big, I have to say. Continuing from this bed, we have more purple sprouting broccoli I've harvested from here already, but it is just putting out new side shoots. And I just like to throw them in our dinners every now and then. Then I sowed out another cucumber here 1 or 2 weeks ago. Oh, and there's one ready to harvest. Let's see. This is Nikki 4, I think. Yes. This variety is Nikki 4 F1. And it makes these like small to medium sized cucumbers with very smooth skin, which I prefer in cucumbers. And it's making out another branches. And there's one new cucumber growing there. Then I have another cucumber here. And one tiny one here that's still growing. Oh, this one also made another cucumber, see? Or I think we can harvest this also, because this one here is also making one new cucumber down here. And up here is a new one growing. So we're gonna have some more cucumbers soon. I'm only growing small to medium varieties this year, just because I prefer them that way. And they have very good taste. They're super juicy, and I love that they have this smooth skin. I like salad cucumbers better than rather like pickling varieties, and you can still pickle these and they turn out amazing. We'll share some pickling recipes with you soon. And I just want to mention that this is the variety Piccolino F1 and this is the variety Nikki 4 F1, and these are both parthenocarpic cucumber varieties, which means they don't need male flowers to grow cucumbers. Basically, they have only female flowers, and unlike sexual fruit, every flower will produce a cucumber, which is really good if you're looking for like high prolific varieties that produce a lot of cucumbers for you. If you're really into pickling, or you just want to give them away to your friends and family, or you just like to eat cucumbers. And this was my first year growing parthenocarpic varieties, and I will never go back to sexual fruit. Then next to my cucumbers we have my strawberries down here, which definitely need to be planted in their final position. We have some lettuce here that I just sowed out the other day. I think it's called, let me see, there's a tag, Varala. It's a red lettuce variety. Some of it is producing red pigment. And then we have some cosmos here. They are about to bloom very soon. This is the variety Seashells. And then coming from this side, before we enter my greenhouse, I just want to show you these beautiful, beautiful sunflowers that are gonna bloom very, very soon. I love that they are next to my greenhouse. Next year I will definitely be planting more sunflowers next to my greenhouse on this side. And then over here, next to my sunflowers, I have more seedlings. I have some pea seedlings here, and I have these broad bean seedlings here. They need to go in the ground very soon. I think I will put those in the first bed over there when I harvest my potatoes. But then going into my greenhouse, we have a bunch of peppers here. Oh, and some of them are blushing, I just noticed now. We have cherry tomatoes. I think almost this whole row here is San Marzano tomatoes. And I've interplanted them with lemon basil and Italian classic basil. And these marigolds actually self-seeded themselves from last year, and I have to say these are so beautiful. Look at these flowers. Just gorgeous. I have lemon drop peppers here, jalapenos, I did harvest a red jalapeno the other day already, but I do like them better as green jalapenos actually. I think I will be pickling some of these and then also freezing some of them when I make like salsa and stuff like that. We have banana peppers here, which some of them are turning orange and oh, I accidentally harvested a jalapeno. What I was gonna say is some of these banana peppers are actually turning red and orange, and I don't think banana peppers are supposed to do that, but yeah. So we gotta come in and harvest those. I'm not gonna harvest them right now because as soon as you harvest peppers, you kind of like have to deal with them, and I don't have the time to deal with them today, so I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow or the day after. We have some dill that also self-seeded itself last year. We have some green onions, more marigolds. I have lemon thyme everywhere here that has these beautiful flowers, and I love lemon thyme. I also gotta come in and harvest a bunch of those just to dry them for winter. And we have our first San Marzanos growing here. Then we have more bell peppers. This is the sweet chocolate or some yellow already, I can't remember. More lemon thyme back here, more lemon drop peppers. We have eggplants here, which I love eggplant flowers. They are just so pretty. And then here's a little fail. These were originally tomatoes that I just sowed as backup tomatoes. And I'm really happy I did that because there was big ants nest in this planter right here. And I dug out basically the ant eggs and just put them outside. And the plants didn't really like me digging at the roots, which is of course justified. So they kind of like, they weren't looking too great. The leaves were curled up, they looked really stressed. So I decided to take them out and actually put in my backup tomatoes. And I just put these backup tomatoes in about 1 to 2 weeks ago. And they have been growing, I think, double their size since then. One of them is Gigantomo, which is like a meat tomato variety, and it produces super large fruits. And one of them is Sweet Million, which is a cherry tomato. You can see it has some flowers here. But yeah, I'm hoping that these will be okay. I'm a bit sad I had to take those San Marzano tomatoes out because I wanted to grow more paste tomatoes for making sauce. But it is what it is. I'm still gonna use some cherry tomatoes for sauce making too, just because I like the flavor. We'll see how it goes. And then here I have more lemon thyme back there, and we have eggplants. We just harvested one the other day and had it on a grill. We love eggplants from the grill. They are so fantastic. This is the variety Tsakoniki, and how beautiful are they? So this plant also looks a little stressed, I think, because there is another ant's nest back there, but I'm not gonna do anything about it right now. I might deal with it after this season. Then here are a bunch of seedlings I have. I just sowed out cabbages last week. We have more lemon drop that I just didn't have a space to put it in. I might actually put it in there soon. There are leeks here, which I'm growing from my fall garden. And basically just a bunch of bush beans and pole beans, which help themselves up. That's funny. These are sunset runner beans. But yeah, back here we have more tomatoes. This is also the Gigantomo tomato. It's producing fruit. We have more basil here. I need to do some pesto soon. We have brandywine tomatoes, pineapple tomatoes. None of them are ready to harvest yet. We have black cherry tomato, which is my favorite cherry tomato. I think there is one more San Marzano over here that I also had as a backup tomato at some point. And I've also interplanted these with lemon thyme and this beautiful purple basil. Then over here we have some more cherry tomatoes. These are called Venus Gold. These are not quite ready. They are supposed to be orangey yellow when you want to harvest them. But we have been getting tomatoes off of these and eating some occasionally. And oh, there's actually one to harvest. This is what they're supposed to look like. One stem broke off, for some reason, but the plant is still like ripening and producing tomatoes here, so I'll just let it go, and it's putting new shoots out here. We have one more of those here. So yeah, the greenhouse is doing pretty all right, I would say. There have been some fails so far, but I really have to get out of this greenhouse now because it's getting so hot in here. I really don't want to be in here any longer. But I will take that little tomato as a snack. So good. Then next to my greenhouse, I have some corn growing. And it's actually tasseling. This is a sweet corn variety. And sometimes I come out here and take like the tassels and I try to like hand pollinate the corn cob or the ear of corn. I know you're supposed to plant it in a block, but I was not able to grow that much corn this year. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corn stalks here. I think last year I had even less, but we still got some corn last year. I'm not looking for perfection. I just want to have some corn on the cob occasionally. Then growing next to my corn is also some calendulas that self-seeded themselves. And I have a bunch of yarrow growing here, which I am growing for the leaves because I want to harvest the leaves and the flowers to dry. I want to dehydrate them and make them into powder because they can help with stopping bleeding. And they're just medicinal. They are a weed in our area, but I think they're a beautiful weed to have. So I just left them next to my greenhouse. Then over here, this is the flower bed we started. We have been coming pretty far, but you can see that we definitely need more pine bark mulch. I've put in some roses, lavender, hydrangeas, snapdragons and zinnias, and actually gypsophilia too, but that's only gonna flower next year. It's a biannual. But yeah, so far this bed is looking great, and I just love those roses. Look how pretty these blooms are. This variety is called Floribundi. Such an intense color. Yeah, then another fail. My cherry tree specifically, it has dropped all the leaves. I'm not sure why, because actually nothing happened to it, but yeah, it dropped all the leaves the other day. To be honest with you, all of my trees have been struggling except our pear tree. This cherry tree right here also has been struggling. We did take away, it wasn't a raised bed, but kinda, it was around there. You can see the soil was up to here. And we did have it there for 2 years, so maybe it's just a change of taking that bed away why it's struggling, but it also had aphids on it, which is where the leaves are curling. It's just a bit stressed. And you can see some of those leaves up there are really droopy, but they're not coming off yet. I hope that this is gonna be okay, because this was one of the first trees that we put in there. I think the harsh winter that we had just didn't do well for most of our trees, and I just really hope they're gonna make it, because trees are expensive to replace and you are losing a lot of time if you have to replace your trees. But yeah, here's to hoping, fingers crossed. Then coming from the backside of our garden to these 3 veggie beds, we did put in 2 more this season. And I basically have zucchini and my pumpkin patch here. I have a lot of onions. I have this trailing nasturtium. It's called Salmon Gleam. And it has the most beautiful, like orangey salmon colored flowers. And it has so many of those. And I see bees on here all the time. Bumblebees. I see bumblebees, regular bees. And you can see it's like trailing next to my pumpkin. Some of my onions here are trying to flower, and I will let them, honestly. I will just collect the seeds from those onions. You can see 2 more here are flowering. And the bees love onion flowers, so I'm just gonna let them flower. There are just like 5 to 6 onions trying to flower. It's not a big deal. Bees can enjoy the flowers, and we will just collect the seeds and then we will eat the onions fresh, no problem at all. Then next to this golden nugget pumpkin, we have a patty pan squash. It used to have another one on here, but I gifted it to my friend and I think it's producing new ones here as well. Some of these onions are also ready to harvest. You can see the neck is bent. I'm gonna come in probably tomorrow and do a bigger harvest with those. Then we have a potimarron pumpkin here, parsley, more parsley over there. These onions here are Rosanna, the pinkish variety is Roseanne or Rosanna, I think. And then the other ones here are Stuttgarter Stanfield. Then we have a Rouge Vive de Temps pumpkin trailing here. And some of these Stuttgarter Stanfield are also ready to harvest. Oh, that's a nice size. Pretty. There's a really big one here. I hope it will grow even bigger. I have acorn squash here, and these are the sunset runner beans. And oh my gosh, are these flowers just gorgeous? I think they look ethereal, honestly. Just so pretty. And these are basically filling up this trellis. You can see that they have made it to the other side. And they just look gorgeous. They're sending off as side shoots as well. And I hope we're gonna get many beans from these. Then over here is another acorn squash, and it's actually producing acorn squash. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. I'm literally in the bush right here. So pretty. This is called cream of the crop. We have another acorn squash right here, and I think there's one more down there. So hopefully we're gonna get many acorn squash from this. My neighbors just started mowing their lawn, so I hope you can still hear me. But yeah, we have another Hokkaido style pumpkin here. I think this is also a potimarron, and it has a little pumpkin on it already. It's not very big, but it's oranging already. But we will see, maybe this will still grow. There's a bee right here pollinating, doing its job. And I just want to show you how beautiful these Rosanna onions are. I'm just in love with how they look. Look at this beautiful pink color. Need to come in and harvest my parsley. This is the potimarron pumpkin I showed you. Here I have a muscat pumpkin, which will be this like elongated variety. I think you call it like butternut. Whoops, I just broke the flower. I hope it's gonna be okay. Which I think you call it butternut squash. It has this beautiful nutmeg flavor. We have a zucchini here, which has huge leaves. Look at that. And this is a round zucchini variety. It's called Tondo Chiaro di Nizza. I have one blossom right here, one over there. Then I have another plant just right here, which is the same variety. We have some beets over here. And we have spaghetti squash trailing up this trellis. And I have some spaghetti squash on here already. I think there are like 2 or 3 on this plant. And it's trailing out to the side too. And I hope that this will climb up the trellis even more. I did have beans on this side, but they like got eaten by slugs. You can see how the zucchini looks a little bit better right here. This one probably just got pollinated yesterday, and this one maybe the day before. They have a very dense flesh and they don't release a ton of water, but they're super soft. They are a little bit of a trailing variety, so you have to keep them in check a little. Then I have green onions growing here, some squash that I don't even know if it will make it into anything. I sowed this very late and I don't even know what variety that is. I just know that this is definitely a squash. And also this zucchini variety is highly resistant to downy mildew, which is really good. We have one more eggplant here that's definitely struggling because it has been more on the colder side. We have celery back there that I grew from like kitchen scraps basically. We have some zinnias here. These are going to be pink zinnias. And we have our favorite cucamelons. These haven't produced anything yet, but I think they're going to produce very soon because they do have the flowers on them. Look at this arch from this side. It's so pretty. I just love these flowers. There's a bee on this nasturtium, or bumblebee I should say. This is the same variety, also self-seeded itself here. We have another pumpkin, and this pumpkin is massive, this plant. Look at how large this plant is. It has a lot of like offshoots, and it has, I think, 3 pumpkins growing on it. This is a big green pumpkin variety, and it's called Marina di Chioggia. And look, there's one big pumpkin here already. Absolutely massive plant. But I feel like this area is so pretty because of all the pumpkins and all the different things just growing together. We have another pumpkin here and another bee collecting pollen. This is also a Hokkaido type variety pumpkin, and it has one growing here. And another flower. I hope it got pollinated. We have broccoli here. This is all purple sprouting broccoli too. And it's slowly starting to put on heads. I sowed this, I think, in March or something, and it took a very long time to grow. I had it in my greenhouse for the longest while, and then once I needed a space in there, I transplanted it outside. And it was already quite big at this point, but now it's looking pretty good and finally starting to put on florets. We have another spaghetti squash here and more of these sunset runner beans. Just so pretty. We have the chives here that I transplanted outside, and let me say, these are also kind of big. Like, they're really, really big, and I put them here because they do like a little bit of shade so they don't fry in the sun, and they've seemed to enjoy that. Then we have another pumpkin here. This is Nagidabozi, and it's a white pumpkin, a white big pumpkin, but the leaves are a little bit yellow. The newer ones are looking a little better, but I probably still have to come in and fertilize this soon. We have another Hokkaido variety, and this is really taking off now. And I think this is also another Hokkaido variety there. Then I think this one here is sweet dumpling. Possibly. My sweet dumpling pumpkins that I sowed myself, they died for some reason. I don't know, maybe it was because the weather was too cool, or I don't know, it rained a lot, but they just died. I don't know why they did, but I was actually able to find the sweet dumpling variety in my local garden center, which I would have never thought in a million years that I would have this variety. It's this really like pinstripe, black and white, a kind of small pumpkin. You don't really come across that variety like on regular, so I'm really happy they had it and that I was able to replace that plant. This is pretty much it for the veggie garden. I do want to say that we also had to replace our grapes here because we did have our grapes in containers in the greenhouse during the winter. Because of this harsh winter, they also just didn't make it. A lot of plants died because we went so low with the temperatures. So I just, oh, there was a little froggy. So I just went to pick up some grapes, and they have been doing pretty well. They have formed new leaves, and we're eventually gonna build them a big nice trellis so they can trellis all along here. But yeah, even though we had so many like hits and we had to take a lot of steps back this season, I still feel very blessed to have this garden, and I can see that even though we have had a lot of hits, the plants are still producing and they're still growing. So I feel very blessed. If you have had a lot of fails this season, you're not alone. This is just part of gardening, and unfortunately we can't really do much about that. With that being said, I want to show you the biggest fail in the garden this year, which is my plum tree. It is looking pretty dead. If you do the scratch bark test, actually, it's still green underneath, which means it is alive, but it had dropped all leaves, which was probably mainly my fault, to be honest. It was struggling with aphids a lot in the beginning of the season. Like, the leaves were really droopy. The tree looked very saggy already after this harsh winter. Then the aphids came, and I tried to get rid of the aphids by using neem oil to like spray them down, and I didn't get the ratio right of the neem oil mixed with water. So what happened after that is it dropped leaves because the neem oil coated the leaves. I did spray the neem oil during the evening, but the oil coated the leaves, and so they couldn't really like function anymore correctly. And it also was pretty sunny the next day. And yeah, that's the story of how this plum dropped its leaves. My fault. I hope we're not gonna have to replace it. I did like research a little, and it's probably gonna stay dormant for this year. It might put on like new leaves at some point, but there's a big chance it might not, and hopefully it will come back next year. Then next to my plum tree, we have actually a win. Oh my God, I'm just seeing this now. There are so many cranberries on this. Oh wow, this is filled with cranberries. Can you see that? Oh my gosh, look how many cranberries. I knew that there were a lot of flowers, but I didn't see that there were so many cranberries on here. Oh wow. That's pretty nice. Okay. And we also have our blueberries here, which are slowly starting to turn blue and purple. There's some more here. And this is the only win with our trees this year. This plum tree, it has exploded. It's doing pretty well. I gotta knock on some wood, because so far this is the only tree, and the two little apple trees, that is doing well this year. And I hope it's gonna continue to do well. But yeah, with my native patch here, there's not really that much to show, except that our red currants are slowly starting to turn red, and there is a bunch of fruit on those. I have gotten quite a lot of blueberries this year. They do like the cold. You can see some of them are just turning blue. There's one more here. I haven't had breakfast yet, so this is gonna be a nice breakfast snack. And there is a lot of blueberries on these plants. Especially this one is loaded with blueberries. So good. Garden fresh blueberries are the best. Then my pines are doing quite alright, I would say. This is a dahlia that looked really horrible when I put it in, and it's starting to bloom soon. So I'm really happy that made it. My magnolia tree over here, it had put out new leaves, but they got eaten by something. I'm not sure what. So I don't know. I hope that this tree is gonna make it too, because it's not looking too good. Just lastly, we have another red currant here. There was not that much fruit on it, but we did get 1 or 2 strands of red currants. We have pines here. These grasses are looking so beautiful. I'm happy they made the winter. And just quickly to show you these beautiful flowers in my flower bed. These are lilies. They come back every year. Lilies are one of my favorite flowers, and I love this specific variety because it's such an intense color. We've got dahlias coming up, more lilies, and bluebells, or delphinium if you want to call it. So pretty. These also self-seed themselves every year. You can see we have a bunch more coming up here. More lilies, dahlias. This is a dark red or maroon variety. Such cool color. We have a lot of sweet woodruff. It's like a cloud. And we have more dahlias. And these violas that are slowly coming to the end of their cycle, I would say. Then I have these fuchsias. in my hanging baskets this year, and they've been doing fantastic in there. I think I will do that again next year because they are so low maintenance, honestly. And I love how they look, just so pretty. Really like a pop color. And here is my herb spiral. This oregano had exploded this year, honestly. I have green onions in here, lemon thyme, rosemary, sweet woodruff that I just actually put in like such a small plant. From that plant, I just ripped it off and like buried it here, and look how much it had exploded. We have some tarragon. We have lemon balm over here and more nasturtium. And then we also put in another grape. I just put it in, I think, the day before yesterday. It was looking pretty horrible in the pot, so it really had to go into the ground. And we are gonna build like a trellis for it all along this way. So it can trellis all this way if it wants to, and it will provide like some shade and privacy as well. Then we have more dahlias here. And my spirea, which is starting to bloom in these beautiful, beautiful pink colors. I'm also really happy Dad made it. And then lastly, I just want to show you my drying station. So this is where I put my onions and my garlic, because this area is in like half shade most of the day. And Crystal put me this like wire here, so I can basically, you know, weave the garlic or the onions through and just let them hang here and dry out. This was the soft neck garlic that I had harvested, and look how itty bitty and teeny tiny these are. This is crazy how tiny they are, because I did put in the biggest bulbs last year, and this one had formed bulbils as well, which is kind of like a flower. You can plant those, and then in the first season you get a round garlic clove, and then the second one it splits into like a real garlic. But whatever, I'll take any garlic I can get. Let's get actually my harvest basket. And hang up the garlic and my onions there. So we can see also the color difference of that hard neck garlic to the soft neck garlic. Not color difference, I meant size difference. Okay, so this was my biggest soft neck garlic head this year, which is like a small garlic. And then the size comparison with my hard neck garlic next to it is crazy. It's double or even triple the size, I would say. It is really big. And this was not the biggest stalk of garlic that I have in my bed back there. So we're gonna see, maybe we will get even larger ones. I hope we will do. Okay, then my onions. This is really making me feel like it's summer. To have onions and garlic drying from your own garden. Is there anything better than that? I don't think so. Okay friends, I think that is all I can show you for today, but we do have a lot of videos coming up. We have preservation projects, we have foraging, we have garden to table dinners, we have pantry challenge coming up. So there is a lot coming your way, and if you enjoy content like this, then please consider subscribing. I would highly appreciate it, and I would love to have you here. If you enjoyed this video, you can help my channel out by liking, hyping and commenting on this video so more people can find my videos. And if you're just here for the ride and watching my content, that's also fine. I love to have you here. With that being said, never forget, you are worthy, you are loved. I hope you have the most amazing day, and I hope to see you back on my channel next time. Bye!